Well, I had to change hats because I want to tell you a story that involved this hat and this here canoe paddle. Way back in '93, which was in the previous century for you young'uns, I decided I was going to go fishing one sunny Monday afternoon. Beautiful, beautiful day. So I gathered up my grandma's tackle box, my fishing pole, put my fishing hat on, got my paddle, my canoe, and went down to Doe Creek on the south edge of Cloverdale, Indiana. Looking forward to some lazy river fishing, just floating along, dragging in the fish. Well, it wasn't very long. I was in the water and the wind started picking up and the clouds started rolling in, and I said, oh my. Looks like things might get a little rough here. Well, pretty soon it started pouring rain, and I do mean pouring rain. It was by the bucket, just soaking me, coming down big time. And then the thunder started rolling. And never before and never since have I ever heard the thunder roar and not stop. And on that day back in '93, that's what it was doing. Well, by then I'm done fishing and I'm rowing with my paddle and I'm getting that canoe out of there and I'm going about as fast as anybody can, so I think. And just as I turn a bend in the creek heading to the outtake, I hear it. I look behind me and there's this 6-foot wall of water rolling right down the creek and heading towards me. Well, right then I moved into hyperdrive. In fact, I looked like one of those cartoon characters you might have seen, just moving. In fact, I was going so fast the tip of the canoe came up out of the water and I was leaving a wake behind me. I really believe I could have pulled a skier had there been one, and I was on my way. I knew it was going to be just a few more minutes before I could get to that outtake, but I kept hearing the roar growing. It got closer and closer and closer, and I kept roaring, rowing, moving that paddle side to side, keeping that boat straight, headed for the outtake, looking back, moving, hoping I could make it. Well, just before it could catch me, I hit that outtake dock so hard the canoe slipped right up on the deck. I jumped up, grabbed my gear, ran up the hill like a crazed dog. And at the top, breathless from my effort, I turned around and looked, and the water came through and grabbed that canoe, flipped it over and rammed it right into an oak tree just up the way and smashed it. And I said, man, I could have been in that thing. So after a few minutes of recovering from my superhuman effort and my stunned observation of what happened to my canoe, I started the long slog home, and the water, it kept a-coming, and the thunder kept a-rolling. And only until the next morning did I find out that Cloverdale, back in '93, had suffered what they called a 100-year rain. 11 inches of water in 5 hours. It just tore the place apart. The interstate up the way was shut down. Motorists were stranded. Truckers disengaged their semi-trucks and went along and helped people who were stuck in these cars who were just floating along. Wow. And I had survived, thanks to my canoe paddle and that canoe which no longer existed. So now you know the story of the great Cloverdale flood of '93. I was there. Do you know what they call a monster with a high IQ? Frank Einstein. A deep thought. Did Washington just flash a quarter for his ID?